Hey there, Perhacs, and welcome to this video. Today we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, something that I've been training in and on and with my clients, my students, and I've literally created my whole concept over this facet, but we're going to look at it from a little bit of a different angle today that I think you're going to enjoy and you're going to get a lot of benefit from. And so I talk a lot about Mind Force, obviously, mindforcemethod.com. You can see that. And I talk about mindset domination, which is a certain thing as well. But now I want to look at it from a different angle, something a little bit different than the norm. And that is the secrets of mental strength. And I'm going to give you about 6 or 7 of these bad boys that are going to allow you to reframe the concept of mental strength, because this is a question I get a lot. I get this from CEOs. I get this from salespeople, especially. How do I maintain mental strength? How do I control it? How do I increase it? And really, I don't teach anything special. I'm not special, but I'm technique-driven, strategy-driven, tactic-driven, where when you understand strategies, tactics, and techniques, you get the results. That's the bottom line. And so that's what we're going to do here. So number 1 is eliminate the word hard. As we were growing up, the word hard comes into our vocabulary, and we say, I can't do it. It's too hard. I don't want to do it. It's hard. And in reality, what happens is we become a victim of our own word structure, right? And so what you got to do is you got to take that word and you've got to manipulate it. Instead of saying, oh my God, that's going to be too hard, say this is going to be a great challenge and we're going to do everything we can to make this easy, right? So we want to turn things from hard to easy so that we don't have to reflect on it. And I know there's programs out there, like there's a program out right now called 75 Hard. It's a great program, but the name itself connotates that it's going to be hard, and it is, right? But it probably turns a lot of people away because of that one word. Words have power. If you don't understand that already, you need to really take a look at that. Number 2, no excuses. No excuses. I spoke with somebody just this week, executive, and said, I don't know if we can hit our quarterly goals. And I said, well, when you set the quarterly goal, did you have an expectation that you could do that? And he said, yes. And I said, has anything changed? He said, no, not really, but we're not really there. And I said, well, no excuses. If you thought you could get it then, you can still get it now. You have to take a look at what it is. No excuses. You need to have that same mentality with your staff, with your team. No excuses. Number 3, we take a look at this. Do it anyway. Right? If something is hard and it's a mental challenge for you, do it anyway. Go to the gym anyway. Go do one set. You just have to get into the habit of creating the situation. When I did a training, or not a training, but I did a 28 days to change program, the whole concept was this: can you do something for 28 days straight? And I used the example of one push-up, one sit-up, one jumping jack, one whatever. But the fact of the matter is you can train your mind to focus so that you can get much more out of your system than if you don't proceed. Process, not outcome. Now, this kind of contradicts no excuses, but the process, the journey, right? You've heard people say it's the journey, not the destination, right? Now, what that means is that you have to enjoy the journey or the destination is going to become irrelevant when you get into the process, not the outcome. So the process of working out, not six-pack abs, right? So when you become to the point where you love working out, it's not the end result. Like, for instance, I loved doing martial arts, go work out, training. It wasn't the outcome of being able to fight somebody and beat them or being good at self-defense. It was the process of going through the learning, right? Process, not the outcome. It's really important. Number 5 is push yourself to go all out. Go out. Go all out. Whatever that endeavor is. So again, we're breaking it down into these pieces, and they may seem contradictory, but these are all mental toughness. Now, everybody's going to be on different schedule, different scale, right? Some people are going to have some of these, and some are not going to have them. And so if you're the type of person that needs to push yourself to go all out, then you do it immediately. You go all out. You put everything on the line. Because some people are risk takers and others are not. If you're a risk taker, if you're the person that needs to go all in, then push yourself. Push yourself. Number 6, don't avoid. Now, we all avoid, including myself. When and up on my whiteboard up there, I say, don't avoid anything. Because I realized that when I avoid things, it hurts me mentally. Because then I say, I said I was going to do this, and I didn't, right? I avoided it. And so what I did a while back is I had all this stuff around my office. I had paintings. In one of my bathrooms, I had a mirror that needed to go up. I had all of this clutter. And it was one of those things where I'm going to get to it someday and I'm going to do it. Well, first of all, I don't know how to put up paintings, really. I don't know how to put up mirrors. I'm not a handyman. My wife's the handy guy around here. But I decided I'm not going to avoid it anymore. And I grabbed the mirrors, unboxed them. I went on YouTube. I spent a couple hours and I learned how to put the mirror on the wall. I learned how to put the paintings and the pictures on the walls. I know that sounds simple and stupid to some of you, but I really wasn't keen on that stuff. I didn't know how to do it. So this is what I did. And I no longer avoid things as a result, because I was avoiding some of those things I was avoiding for a year. And it certainly wasn't helping, right? Number 7 is treat annoying people with kindness and love, right? There's going to be annoying people in your office. There's going to be annoying people in your life. Just treat them with love and kindness. And you'll notice that they'll be less annoying because you're giving them that good energy. Now, I know some of you said, I've tried that before and I don't get anything back. Well, that's the whole thing, is you don't expect to get back. You've got to learn to detach, right? And if I could have a number 8, it would be detach from outcome, right? How do you detach from an outcome when you're looking to get that outcome? Like, one of the things was no excuses, push yourself to go all out. And then number 8 is detach from the outcome. How do you do all of those things? Well, every one of these things, as far as this mental ability, what it really comes down to is it comes down to your ability to pick and choose which aspects of these you're going to use in order to get the maximum benefit. And so what I want you to do is I want you to understand that the secrets of mental strength are held within these 8. I said 7, but we put 8 down. But the biggest one, if I had to look at this list, actually, let's go back and take a look at the list, is, if we look at the list, is it really comes down to don't avoid, right? Because when you avoid something, you mentally store that thing in your mind, and it becomes one of these things. Well, when you see it, oh, I've got to put those paintings up. I've got to put that mirror up. And it becomes mental baggage in your mind. And so what happens is that you look at it and you say, okay, eventually I'm going to do it. And it just clogs up your mind. But when you look at that, that to me that's the one that's on my board right now. I've pretty much eliminated the word hard. It's not a big deal. No excuses. I can do that as well. Do it anyway. Not as easy either. Process, not outcome. Pretty much the same thing is almost detaching. But these are elements that you can use. And so if I'm coaching someone, if I was coaching you, we would go through each one of these. And we would go through our life, our patterns, what we're doing. And we would talk about, okay, do you use the word hard? Let's talk about when you may have used that recently in an engagement, in a project, whatever. And then we would go down to no excuses. Do you make excuses for yourself or for your people or for whatever, staff? Do it anyway. Are you more like do it anyway, or are you more like, I'm going to pass it off? Process, not outcome. Are you judging your team on the process? Because here's the thing with the process, not the outcome, is that, and I'll relate this to sales. I know for a fact that if I have sales reps that are going through the process and they're doing the right process correctly with all the skill sets, eventually they're going to get the satisfactory outcomes that we want and desire. Whereas if I'm just focusing on the outcome and saying, we need this, the challenge with that is if the process is screwed up, they're never going to get to the outcome no matter what. Okay? Push yourself to go all out. And I'll say that to somebody. Do you push yourself to go all out? Do you go all out, or are you always leaving a little extra over the fence? Right? And then avoid. What have you avoided? Big question. In fact, that's a good question to ask yourself is, what am I avoiding? What have I avoided? What did I avoid this week that I should have gotten done that was really important? Okay? Treat annoying people with kindness and love. Now, have you had any people that you've run into like that? Okay, boom, you could do that. And then detach from the outcome. Do I detach from the outcome, or do I become so involved in the process, so involved in the projects? And I'm speaking specifically to you, vice presidents, CEOs, presidents, who want to have your hands in everything. And instead of detaching from those things and relying on your team to get it done, you're meddling. Some of you are meddling. And when you meddle, it causes an energy that is not good in the organization. So now the thing is, you have to be able to detach, but you also have to you're responsible for that particular situation. So you're going to go in and you're going to make sure that things are being taken care of. So anyway, I want you to use these tips, these techniques, these concepts, and again, formulate them into a question and ask yourself these things, and then tweak them up incrementally. And you're going to notice that your mental strength is just going to keep going up and up and up. And I know if you use these techniques, you're going to get great results. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. So long.